Hi, everybody. Welcome. Oh, sorry about that. Welcome to Dr. Georgian, another one of our weekly live chats. Sort of a special Friday edition sort of for us today. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jenny Thompson. I am the social media specialist here at Georgian College. And we are going to be focusing today on how to be successful studying remotely, which I know so many of us are focused on these days. So we're going to be looking at this from a couple different perspectives, sort of that technical side, as well as mental health perspective. So we're going to be joined by a couple different people in just a minute. First up, we're going to have Jay Harris. He is the Student System Support Officer at Georgian College. And he's going to talk to us about that technical side. And then we're going to be joined by Carrie, Shute, who is a counselor at Georgian College. So you might be wondering, remote learning, it might be new to you. What if you have trouble using it? How do you get started? Or maybe you've been using it for a semester or so and you feel like you could use, some more support. Who do I talk to? Where can I find more resources? Or, we're all aware that, studying remotely isn't quite the same as being in the classroom with your peers and your instructors right there. And that can be tough for some people mentally. So, is there a place to get support for your mental health during this time? And there is. And we're going to touch on all of these areas today. So if you have any other questions as well, please post them in the comment box below, and we will do our best to get through all of them today, or get through as many as we can. And just a quick note as well, we're going to have Sid from our International Center joining us in the comment section, helping answer some of those questions that we're not able to get to today. He's going to be using the IC Georgian account, and especially for international students who might be watching, give them a follow. I'll just put that in the comments there and pin it for you guys. They provide a lot of updates for our international students. As well, they host live chats 3 times a week, actually, to stay connected with with our international students. Sorry about that. And provide updates and keep just connected in this time when we're all sort of apart. As well, before we get started, a really great resource to check out for anything that we can't cover or that you want to look at more. A really great resource is our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. It's got tons and tons of information on it, including what we're going to be talking about today. As well, it's got some really great information up at this orange tab at the top. At this link here, you can see the fall 2020 program delivery info. So that's where you're going to find some information, more info about the fall 2020 intake. And you can actually search in a really easy to use chart to see your program and to see if any of your courses are going to be delivered online or in person on campus. And this link here as well will take you to our COVID-19 updates page, which just looks like this. Really simple to use. There's some key dates up at the top, so make sure to check those out. As well on this side, it's broken down by semester, by different topics. And so you can click right down to where you want to go. As well, we have a page just for international students, so you can click there as well for updates. Awesome. All right. So now we're going to be bringing in Jay in just a minute. So again, if you have any questions today, just feel free to put them down below and we will do our best to as many as we can today. Okay. Hey. Hey, Jay.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm very good. Yourself?
I'm well, thanks. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So for anybody who missed last week, Jay was one of our stellar guest experts last week as well, chatting with us. For anybody who may have missed that, can you fill them in on a little bit more about what you do at Georgian?
Absolutely. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jay. I'm the Student Systems Support Officer with Georgian. And my role is generally around any of your student systems. So Banner, Blackboard, MyPath, the student portal, even your Georgian email. So common inquiries I might get are based around those student systems. It could be registration. It could be how to look up your fees, how to pay your fees. Maybe it's how do I access my student systems. So that's kind of what I do at Georgian.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And so during this time too, with COVID-19, and we've all sort of been adjusting to more of that studying from home. How have your sort of strategies or methods at work changed for you during this time, if they have?
Yeah. So I'd say there's certainly a higher dependence placed on our learning management system, which is called Blackboard. So Blackboard, it's for those of you that are going to be new to Blackboard, some of you may already be familiar with its features. Blackboard shows you your course announcements, how to get in contact with your professor, submitting assignments online, looking up your grades, even accessing if there's a blog or a post or so, and communicating with your teachers. So I would say that there's a much higher dependency placed on Blackboard. And then some of your own technology requirements, we do have that listed on the Georgian College website as well. And I think we'll get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, certainly Blackboard is going to be a higher reliance placed on that.
Mm-hmm. And some, for people maybe who are new to Blackboard as well, where would they find that?
Yeah, so if you go to the Georgian College website, just the main screen, in the top right-hand corner of the screen, oh, perfect, we got a video too. So in the top right-hand corner, we've got the login button. So if you were to click login, then you can go directly to Blackboard, or you can also access Blackboard through the student portal. So that's another way that you can access it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And so for people who, we'll share this information again as well later, but for people who want to get in touch with you to learn more, to get in touch with your team for some help, or sort of to bookmark that information for just in case if they need some help later, how do they do that?
Yeah, so we can be contacted at the Registrar's office. We have a main mailbox that is registrar@GeorgianCollege.ca. And if you wanted, we can handle inquiries about admissions, credit transfer, registration and records, a wide array of information. So please do utilize your registrar at GeorgianCollege.ca. Thanks, Jenny. And yeah, we'll be able to assist any of your needs and inquiries that way. There is also the academics page on the student portal. So as it relates to my role, we happen to have already pre-created how-to resources and also some video resources as well. So if you're unfamiliar with any of your student systems, then this is an excellent outlet to kind of get familiar and how to navigate around your student systems.
Yeah, so I can sort of show that as you talk. So it's the same sort of that login on the GeorgianCollege.ca, and then just go to login, and then student portal, and then that will take you into your student portal here, and then just up at the top here is where Jay is talking about the academics tab.
One thing I might mention as well is that if you do click on student portal, you will be asked to log in. So your login is going to be the same for all of your student systems. So it'll be your student number at student.georgianc.on.ca. And your default password will be your date of birth. So that will be the last 2 digits of the year, 2 digits for the month, and 2 digits for the day.
Perfect. Yeah, good point. And I guess they can come to you for help with that as well, say if they forget how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're certainly here to help. You can use a password manager tool as well. So the password manager tool allows you to set up recovery outlets. So this could be an alternate email, it could be a phone number, and that way we can send you a verification code. And then if you do forget your password, then you can reset it yourself if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And I do want to jump into the, you mentioned the sort of the at-home technology requirements as well. Just to give people an idea of like, you know, how do you even get started with remote learning? What do you need to have to be able to do it in the first place?
That's right. Yeah. So this question is a little bit more particular to each program. So each individual program is fairly kind of individual in there. We have quite a diverse amount of programs at Georgian. But if you were interested in the technology for your program or tech requirements or so for your online learning, one area that you can go, it's listed on our COVID page. However, if you go to the Georgian College website and you click on finance and fees, it'll be a header that runs across the top. Then you can click program specific. Yeah, so program specific fees under finance and fees. And it should be down toward the bottom left there. Yeah, just the information.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, so program specific fees, and toward the bottom of this page, you'll be able to see your program requirements. So it'll tell you the tech that's required for each individual program. And I think it's a fair bit down. I think it's quite a bit more.
Program fees. There we go. Technology requirements.
You got it.
Perfect. Yeah, so if you just click on the program, it'll open up for you.
Yeah, so that's an excellent place to look and just get a bit of a head start on maybe some information about your program.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So it's there as well. As Jay mentioned, it's on our COVID page. So if you go to the FAQ Summer 2020 semester, and it's under here under at-home technology requirements, and there's some general info plus the more specific here. So, and for sure, I know we're showing you like lots of information on our student portal and on our website. So we are going to be posting this live chat to our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube accounts afterwards. So you can always reference them later. You can also message us at Georgian College, and you can also get in touch with Jay and his team as well at Registrar at GeorgianCollege.ca. So if it's a lot of info, but we are here to help make sure you get off to the right start. So awesome. And so I know too that, we have a lot of students who are joining us with all different kinds of tech abilities and comfort levels, and we are starting to have some courses with some on-campus components this September, but most are still going to be online. And just quickly referencing, there was a question earlier just about whether they can finish their course online. Yes, with most courses right now still being online this fall. If you were to finish, say this next semester, then you would be finishing your courses online. Again, GeorgianCollege.ca/fall 2020. That's where you want to go to find out if your courses are online or not. Anyway, and so people are coming with lots of different tech ability and comfort levels. I'm wondering what you would say to somebody who, might be intimidated or nervous about having to study online versus in a classroom.
Yeah. So absolutely, we have not everyone has the same comfortability level with maybe online learning or some of the platforms or technology. What I will say is try not to let this deter you. So this is your college experience as well. We want to make it as positive as possible. So one thing I might mention is that if you do happen to have questions about any system or software or technology, I do highly encourage you to speak up when you do have those questions, because if we wait and put it off, then in some cases this can snowball. It can have a bit of a snowball effect. So your staff, your faculty, your academic areas, and system supports, your first year experience, we're all here to help you. So we're trying to make your student experience as positive and as possible. So if you do have questions, absolutely speak up when you do have questions, and then try to be open-minded as well. It is a learning opportunity. So it's a way to further develop yourself for online. Absolutely.
And tell us more, because Georgian has a student remote learning kit as well for people who'd like some extra support. Can you tell us more about what that is and where people can find it?
Certainly. Yeah, so the remote learning kit has been developed and placed in the student portal. So I'm not too sure if we can show a quick, maybe if we
Yes, I
show
think
the
I actually have
it's
it up here.
page.
So here's in the student portal.
Right on the page of the student portal, we have the remote learning kit. And what we can find in here is we have talked about Blackboard. And Blackboard is where all your course information is going to be. So we have a lot of Blackboard support information. We have 12 steps to online learning. There is WebEx support. There's a self-care section, productivity and time management resources, and much more. So do make use of the remote learning kit because it's certainly a place where you can kind of relieve some of your anxiety about online learning and get a little bit more comfortable with what we're looking at for kind of what you'll be exposed to. Mm-hmm. There's a great resource there. Thanks so much, Jenny, for manning our presentation here.
Of course, of course. So again, it's just on the main page of the student portal, just right over here. You can learn more. Perfect. Great. And so we again too, I want to sort of shout out because we have quite a few students who also have been at this remote learning thing for a semester or so. You know, say that they still need some support or they feel like they could use a refresher on something. Who can they talk to? Where would they go for some support?
Yeah, so I would say it definitely depends on what type of support you're looking for. So if this was simply maybe your student systems, I'm a little bit biased because I'm the student system support officer. So if you needed to, there's a bunch of resources available on the academics page. And that was for Banner, Blackboard, MyPath. The student portal has a ton of information. I often think of the student portal as your one-stop shop for information. Also your faculty and advisors as well. If you find at any point in time you need some extra clarification, your professor's there. If you need some program guidance as well, your advisor or coordinator. If you're looking for maybe even health or so, we have those services that are running remotely. So yeah, just it is kind of specific to where your inquiries are lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm seeing some questions too from some people coming in about registration as well, and I know that you can help people with that as well. It's not exactly what we're chatting about today, but it is something that it's covered in your area. So just for people wondering, I believe it's August 18 to 20 is the window to register for classes this fall. Can you tell people any more about that and maybe where they can go to get their date?
Yeah, absolutely. So you are right. So for fall 2020, the registration dates will be August 18th through the 20th. And this is what we call block registration. So you'll be selecting a pre-made timetable of classes. And where you can find this information, we do highly encourage students to look at the important dates section on the Georgian website, because there's a lot of good information there. But if you wanted to know your exact date and time for registration, you can find this information out in Banner. And when you do log into Banner, and this will be the same login you would use for the student portal, Banner, Blackboard, MyPath, when you do log into Banner, click on registration, and then select check registration status. We might be able to get a bit of a tutorial here as well.
We can at least get you into Banner. I don't think I can register.
Yeah, so when you click on Banner, log in, and then click registration, and then we select check registration status. And that'll provide you with your exact time and date.
Perfect. And so before I let you go here today too, Jay, what are some main, a few takeaways that you would say to some people, to some students about how to be successful while studying remotely?
Sure. I'd say be willing to speak up. So certainly notify whichever area, whether that's your professor, your coordinator, your advisor, speak up. So if you do have any questions or you need some additional assistance, it's always good to get it while these problems or inquiries arise. This way that we don't get too far behind. So certainly speak up. We're here to support you in every way that we can. Another would be to be self-motivated. So have some self-discipline as well when it comes to the remote online learning, whether that's creating a calendar, utilizing a to-do list. So small things that you find where where would your strengths lie? If it's not organization, then we can write things down. We can maybe put it into a calendar. And this way we can keep track of all your assessments, your assignments, your tests, or what have you. And addition is just to be open-minded. This is your educational experience. So online learning is certainly a way to develop our online abilities. So it's one thing to be intimidated a little bit, and I'm sure I know it myself. I'm not the most tech savvy even, so but I always look at it as a learning opportunity.
Perfect. Yeah, it definitely is. Well, thank you so much for all your great advice and for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care. So for anybody who's just joining us, we're chatting all about how to be successful with studying remotely. And that's really nice. We see a comment here. Remote support has been awesome. Great work, guys. Thank you so much. We are really trying to do our best to support everybody. If you did want to get help with that sort of technical side, as Jay mentioned, again, is Registrar at GeorgianCollege.ca. And he and his team there can support you with that. So for any questions that you may have missed or gone over any information, we are going to be posting this on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube accounts following the chat. So keep an eye out for that. And we know that we are focused on just this one topic today. We're seeing lots of questions coming in about, international travel and registration and applications and looking for updates and that sort of thing. So we would really encourage you to check out our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. It's got tons and tons of information on there, including what we're talking about today, as well. There's updates on fall 2020 intake, as well as our COVID-19 updates page for domestic and international students. And a lot of our commonly asked questions are on there. So for sure, check that out. So we're going to be jumping back into some questions in just a minute. There we go. We're going to be bringing in Carrie Shute, who is a counselor at Georgian College. Okay. Okay, I think we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty as well today. I think, Carrie, if you can turn on your video, allow Instagram to do video and audio, and we can jump into some questions sort of about that mental health piece, because we do know that, it's not quite the same to be studying, at a computer screen when, compared to being in a classroom with your peers and your instructors. So that can be tough sometimes for people. So we really do want to support you with some of the resources that we have at Georgian. So maybe as we just wait for Carrie to take a look at that, I can show you a little bit around on our website. Again, I always say there's tons of fantastic resources on there, including our page that's all about counseling, mental health, and well-being. You can find lots of resources if you'd like to get some support, or if you'd like to get information for a friend. You would just go to student life up at the top at GeorgianCollege.ca, and then just the counseling, and that will take you right there. So awesome. So we're going to bring in Carrie. So chat some more about that sort of mental health piece about studying remotely and what you can do. Hey, Carrie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Great. How are you?
Good, thanks. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you guys can hear me okay?
Yep. Yep, we can hear
Okay.
you. Awesome.
I somehow couldn't link it to my computer, so I'm using my phone. So
Okay,
hopefully this
perfect.
works.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And again, if
thank
anyone
you.
has any questions sort of about the mental health piece of this, for sure post them down below, and we'll do our best to get through them. So first of all, Carrie, if you could tell us a little bit about what you do at Georgian.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a counselor at Georgian College, and typically I cover Owen Sound campus and South Georgian Bay campus, which is Collingwood. Since we've been remote, our counseling team will be offering support to all campuses. So that's one benefit of offering remote services. So counselors, there's 8 of us at the college, and our roles are to assist students in whatever struggles they might be having. It might be mental health. It might be social, it might be adjustment, it could be relationship struggles. We pretty much help students with any issue that they're having, and if they get referred to us and it's not the right referral, or if we can't assist them, we make sure that we can connect them to someone within the college or within the community. So, but typically when students are referred to us, we can usually help them with some type of support. And I will talk more about what kind of support we offer.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
especially from a mental health perspective, and we're talking about how to be successful while studying remotely. How does that fit in? What are some things that people can do to take care of themselves and their mental health?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we really, really need to look at helping students kind of recognize that staying in a good routine and schedule is really, really important. So even though we're not physically going to class like we typically do, when things are online and virtual, we need to make sure that we still kind of follow that routine and schedule. That's where we've seen a lot of students kind of fall off, where they're not physically getting up at the usual times they would, because there's more flexibility with remote learning. And sometimes that can get people into some trouble. So schedule is a really important thing. We really encourage students to do a semester plan. So they can do that individually. Their student planner that they'll be getting, and I believe it's going to be printed and students will have the opportunity to pick it up, or it might be mailed to them. I haven't heard exactly what the plan is for the planner, but the planner will have a semester planning component to it, where you can add your schedule and really plan out your week so that you can be accountable and make sure that you kind of stay in that routine. What else? I'm just trying to think. I think the other big thing is when you're doing remote learning, you want to connect with the support. So there's a lot of supports available. And, whether it's student services, whether it's library supports like the Math Center, Writing Center, peer tutors, connecting with faculty coordinators, just staying in touch with people, connecting, asking questions. We're all here to support, even though it's virtual. We can certainly help in lots of ways. So I just encourage students to really stay in touch, right? Connect. That's what we're here for. So no question is the wrong question. We like students that connect because we can help.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody's just pointing out as well in the comments, the library website has semester and week plan templates. Great resource.
Awesome. Yes.
Um,
And the planner will also have that, the new student planner. So that's something to look out for. Some people like to have like a hard copy.
yeah.
So yeah, that's an option also.
Yeah, lots of great resources. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. And actually next week on the Friday, July 24th is actually International Day of Self-Care. And I
Okay.
know there's always lots of talk about self-care and what we should do. And, but why is it important for students to actually take some time to help themselves with that?
Yeah. So students have many roles, right? And it's very common for students to feel overwhelmed at different times throughout the semester. So it's very normal to feel overwhelmed at different times. Students juggle a lot, right? So they're not just dealing with the academic side of things. Sometimes they're working part-time, full-time, sometimes they're parents, they're dealing with relationships, whether it's family or a partner. there's lots of hats that students wear. So it's really important to have self-care to help, manage some of those times when we're more stressed or when we're feeling more overwhelmed. So I do want to talk a little bit about what self-care is, because I think a lot of people know what it is, but I like to always, when I have the opportunity, I like to talk about it. So
Yeah, please do.
self-care is, yeah, so self-care is anything that will provide you with an opportunity to de-stress, right? So it can be in the form of connecting with friends or family, spending time with others, and that can be difficult during the pandemic. But even connecting with people through video, having meaningful connections and conversations with people can be really, really a way to manage and cope with stress and overwhelm. Eating well, right? Making sure that you are having a well-balanced nutritional, I guess, food, right? You just want to
Yeah.
fuel your brain. The other piece is physical activity, right? So we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to get out and move around, whether that's hiking, biking, maybe it's doing a fitness workout, maybe it's mowing the lawn, right? Anything to be physically active. Self-care also includes getting enough sleep, right? So as a student, we have lots of roles, and sometimes sleep is one of those things that we sacrifice. We say, well, maybe if I can sleep less, I can, maintain this crazy schedule. But that's not necessarily going to benefit people. So we really encourage people to stay in a really healthy sleep routine also. Sleep is a really important factor in good mental health.
Yeah.
So setting boundaries is another way of self-care. So saying no to people, right? And putting your needs first, right? Not always, meeting other people's needs, whether it's an employer or a partner or a family member, just being able to say, no, it's not a good time for me right now. I need to take some time for myself. And that's hard. And that's something that we help students with a lot, right? How can we say no and set boundaries that don't feel like we're rejecting someone, but rather taking care of ourselves? What else do I have here? Taking breaks. You want to make sure you take breaks. So whether it's work or studying, you want to make sure you get up and move, whether it's fueling your body with a drink of water or food, or just taking a walk outside. Even 10-minute breaks can be really helpful. What else? Less time on social media. That's something that we can do to help with self-care as we're connected here.
Yeah.
So, it's really great. It's really great to make sure that you take some time to disconnect, especially right now during the pandemic when we're dealing with a lot of information. So, being able to kind of turn off technology and take breaks and really kind of schedule our media time, right? Put limits on that. And then one other thing, like just having kind of a positive outlook, right? So being able to use positive self-talk, positive here and now kind of thinking through, whether it's, through a guided meditation or a mindfulness activity, having positive thinking can be really, really helpful in helping people manage or improve their self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some quick and quick.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Lots of great strategies.
Yeah.
And so and I wanted to give a quick shout out as well, because you mentioned that sort of, even taking a break, getting active, doing some fitness, that sort of thing. I just wanted to do a quick shout out to our Georgian Grizzlies fitness account here on Instagram. They post, and I'll just post it there for everybody to see the account. They post tons and tons of great content, all about fitness as well as nutrition, how to, de-stress and stay healthy, how to, stretch at your desk even, lots of great tips there. They've also started an at-demand fitness service.
Yeah.
So you can get more help from them for that as well. So they're a really great resource. So for sure, check them out. Just pinned there below at Georgian Grizzlies Fitness on Instagram.
Yes, thank you. I was going to give a shout out to them. And their programs that they're going to have, it's going to be yoga, mindfulness, some weight training, like probably some combo stuff. So there's going to be quite a variety, which
Mhm.
is really nice too. So it's not all, pump and iron and building muscle. It's also that kind of self-care, yoga and meditation
Yeah.
included. So yeah,
Yep.
it's nice to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we encourage,
and
yeah.
I was just gonna say, and next week, actually next Thursday, July 23 at 1 p.m., we're gonna be talking all about how to stay active physically and socially. So that'll be a great
Nice.
tie-in for us as well.
Perfect. Nice. I'll have to join and listen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then, so, you've gone over a lot of different areas, that maybe students struggle with, or how you can help them. How should students reach you? What is the best contact information?
Okay. So as you pointed out earlier, if you go onto the website under student life, and within that tab, you'll see something that says counseling. It will directly link you to the resources within counseling. Yes, thank you. So what you'll see there is you'll see the student success email address that you can connect there and say, I'm interested in meeting with a counselor. So that's the email way to connect. There's also telephone numbers there for all the different campuses. We don't want students to have to pay long distance, so we have a variety of extensions and phone numbers there. So that's the way that you can connect with us virtually. And when we're back on campus, we have student services offices where students can connect with us there. But for now, this is that website's or that email address is one of the best ways to connect. But telephone's another option. And what will happen there is a customer service person will connect with you and they'll book you in to meet with one of us counselors. And there's 8 of us, so yeah. And then
Perfect.
I did want to mention, sometimes students aren't necessarily wanting to connect to speak with a counselor. Sometimes they just want some mental health resources. So I just wanted to mention within that information you just showed us, it highlights the mental health and well-being portal. And it's a great portal that has a lot of information about mental health and well-being. So some students are just wanting there it is, or she's going to click in there. But yeah, mental health and well-being portal there. So you can click in that, and there's a ton of information, dozens and dozens of mental health and well-being topics. So you can learn a lot from those. Within the mental health and well-being portal, there's Flourishing Fridays, and they pick topics every Friday throughout the fall and winter semester to promote different mental health and well-being topics. So self-care will be there, how to set boundaries, how to cope with stress. There will be lots of information there. So that's something to check out also, because some people are just looking for information. They may not want to connect. They're certainly welcome to connect, and we'd love to meet with them. But and then within the portal also, they have a lot of apps, because some people are looking for online support, right? So there's some great free resources within that also. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, perfect. And before we let you go for today as well,
Yeah.
I think especially with this being an unusual time during a pandemic, there's lots of unknowns out there for the future. What advice would you give to students on how they can stay motivated during this time without, letting those sort of unknowns get to them?
Sure. Yeah, so I think that's a really good question. I think we hear that a lot. How do I kind of move through this uncertain time? We always encourage students to connect with us if they need someone to talk to about some of their worries. And one strategy that really helps people is, being able to really kind of look at the here and now, right? So some of you have heard of mindfulness and different ways that we can train our mind to really focus on, current feelings and experiences. So I'll even break it down more. Some people really, like, we might encourage a student to focus on daily tasks rather than, what's September going to look like, right? So, we really encourage students to try really, to focus on, what can they do today to stay well and happy and healthy. And it's normal to obviously spend time thinking about the future, worrying about the future. but we encourage students to try to limit, how much ruminating or how much projecting they're going to be doing about the future, because we don't know. We know that, people are functioning, and lots of people have shown us a lot of resilience within this really strange time. And, great things are happening because of COVID, but there is a lot of uncertainty, and we just encourage people to connect with us because we're here to help. And things that they can do are obviously just staying in a good healthy routine, limiting media, because watching media and overwhelming our minds with some of the doom and gloom, that can really make us anxious, and that can make us really worry a lot about the future. So just limiting the media, and choosing, when you watch media, maybe just limit it to half an hour, because sometimes that's all you need is half an hour to kind of get the most recent updates. What else did I have here? And just learning how to relax, right? So maybe that's yoga, maybe that's hiking, maybe that's taking up a new hobby, right? So finding things that you can do instead of occupying your mind with worry and uncertainty about the future, really just trying to look for things that you can focus on right now, right? A lot of people are taking up new hobbies. What's something that I heard is a lot of people have bought water equipment like kayaks and canoes, and lots of people are getting outside a lot more and really enjoying this great weather that we're having. So I think that's probably volunteering. Volunteering is another thing. If you're feeling like you want to connect with people and you have time to give, volunteering can be really meaningful. It can really help people kind of get outside of their own worries and help other people. So that's a great way to kind of cope with that also.
Perfect.
I could go on and on, but I think that's a general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many, everybody, has their own preferences and what works for them, right? So, and it's great that you guys are there to help them and help them work through that if they want to talk to somebody.
Yes. Yeah, well, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Carrie, for your time today, for your awesome expertise for us today.
Thank you. No problem. Nice to see you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
So we're going to sign off in just a minute. Thanks so much to Jay and to Carrie for their amazing advice and information for our students. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. We are going to be posting all of this, this live chat to our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube accounts right after it's done. So keep an eye out for that if you want to go over anything or if you missed something. We did chat about sort of the technical side and the mental health piece to how to be successful while studying remotely. As well, we're going to be back next week, as I mentioned, with another live chat here on Instagram. It's going to be on Thursday, July 23 at 1 p.m. It's going to be all about staying active this summer, and we mean physically and socially, even though we're apart, what are some things we can do? So we're going to be chatting with some guest experts from Georgian Athletics, as well as the GCSA. And again, this live chat's going to be taking place on Instagram, so please join us on there. Again, another great quick shout out to our website, GeorgianCollege.ca. There's tons and tons of information on there. It's a really great resource for all the information we're talking about today, as well as things like updates about fall intake. Sorry, I'll just show that. You can actually look up on GeorgianCollege.ca. You can look up whether your program is online or on campus, as well as find all of our ongoing COVID-19 updates and information for domestic and international students. If you're wondering about, fees and technology needs and other things, you can find them all on here as well. So in the meantime, we will see you next week and for our awesome live chat on how to stay active, stay busy this summer. And we hope you're all healthy and happy and doing well. And take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Right? Bye.